Once again, Martin Lemay with Tony Marinero from TSN 690. We are together to talk to you about the Avs, of course. Canadians going to play 2 games this weekend, one against the Avalanche. We're going to get back to this one soon, but right now, Canadians going tonight against the Wild, Minnesota Wild. What your thought about it? And Canadians have a lot of injury coming back very sooner than later. What do you think about all this?
I got to tell you, I'm really surprised that the Canadians were able to manage to pull off wins with all the injuries they had. When I found out, Pacioretty goes down, Greer goes down, and Brandon Press goes down, that's already an NHL line.
Yep.
Then you have guys that bring toughness to the lineup, like George Parros on the front end, like Douglas Murray on the back end. And you say to yourself, with all those injuries all at the same time, how are the Montreal Canadiens going to be able to pick up wins? Well, you can say whatever you want. It was this, it was that, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, they beat Anaheim, they beat Dallas, they beat the Rangers. They won 3 of their last 4 games. They played really well. There was a win against Columbus a couple of weeks ago as well. They were able to manage, and they've still kept themselves in the hunt, and I think it's positive going forward. Look, Minnesota's not going to be a pushover, but I think this is going to be a 500 road trip. I look for the Canadiens to win tonight, and I look for them to drop a decision in Colorado tomorrow night.
Can't wait to see tonight against the Wild. Like you said, I can't imagine Michel Therrien passing by over Pacioretty, who want to play. He said just waiting for the doctors to say yes. So I think Michel Therrien doesn't have the choice to put Pacioretty on the lineup and put him beside Desharnais and Bourque on the third line, because the first line, it's the kill line or Plekanec with Bournival and Giunta. So they give a great chance to the third line with Desharnais and Pacioretty. Your only 30-goal scorer is on the third line right now, so I think they can have great success. Instead of playing against Ryan Suter, who's one of the best in the league, they're going to play against Spurgeon or other defensemen for the Minnesota Wild. So I expect great stuff from that line tonight.
I like this line. Rene Bourque is not Eric Cole of a couple of years ago, but he's in that mold when he decides to play. If Desharnais is not going to get going with a Pacioretty to his left and a Bourque to his right, with those kind of wingers that are going to make the defense back up, open up some ice for him so he can use his playmaking ability, if that's not going to get him going, nothing will.
Yeah, but I guess it's close for getting rolling, like you said, because last 3 or 4 games were good. The Jets game was good either, but it's only 5 games since the beginning of the season, you will say. And I agree with you, but you have to be patient with David Desharnais and expect him to deliver at some point. If not, but like you said, it's going to be a dead-end situation. So watch for Ryan Suter tonight. He was in the conversation for the Norris Trophy with PK Subban last year. Everybody's talking about a great defenseman. NHL guy told me he looked. This is what closest from Nicholas Lidstrom. He never sweat. He never made mistake. Everything looked easy to him. So have a great look at Ryan Suter. How great he is. Canadians gonna win tonight, and I expect Canadians to win tomorrow night. You know why? There's a big avalanche going down in Colorado. Varlamov story, the trade with Talbot and Downey. I don't think Patrick Roy is very happy with what's happening right now with his team. So I can't wait to see that game. But you think they're going to lose against the
I think this
Avalanche?
Is a game that has been circled on Patrick Roy's calendar for a very, very long time. And I wouldn't be surprised if, this is there's a few dollars on the table. Not that the coach is putting them, but there's some extra motivation there for sure.
What do you think about that trade, Talbot for Downey?
I think it's in favor of the Colorado Avalanche. Anytime you make a deal, it's whoever gets the better player in the deal. Here's a guy who's got Stanley Cup experience. Here's a guy who can play on a third line pretty much of any team in the National Hockey League. Play his 15 minutes a game, play on the penalty kill, block shots, defensively responsible. I think there's a better deal for Colorado.
I guess that means that Parato will go back up on the first line, and maybe Talbot will play and be a little bit of a big brother to Nathan McKinnon. So I can't wait to see that one. But I think pure talent, Downey have a more scoring talent than Talbot, but he's a loose cannon, and I think the Avalanche have a better all-around player than
no doubt about it.
Flyers. Philadelphia Flyers have to bring that thing back on because they're not going to bring the playoff. They keep going like this. And I'm going to use you to talk about the Impact.
Yeah.
Who lost badly last night against the Houston Dynamos.
Overall, it's a good season. You hate the way it ended, but if you break it down in general,
Really?
it was a season of basically two seasons,
Yeah.
right? The first season was 6 months of good soccer, and the last season was the last 6 weeks were disastrous. Now, anytime it ends on a sour note, it's not a good thing, obviously, but look, considering the way things have gone over the last 6 weeks, I'm not surprised. They give up way too many goals for a team that wanted to go far.
Yeah.
The chemistry was way off. The players were not at 100%. There seems to have been a malaise. Bad coaching decision after another. I mentioned yesterday on the CJD AM 800 pregame show that when I saw that Nelson Rivas was going to be part of the starting lineup, I was in awe. And I told the guys right away, this is a bad decision. You don't take a guy who hasn't played soccer for a year and put him in your most important game of the season without progressively bringing him back in the lineup. It made no sense. I predicted he would get into foul trouble. He got 2 yellow cards. He got ejected from the game. You saw that he was rusty. That was a bad decision. When you concede as many goals as you do, you have to reinforce your midfield with 5 midfielders. They didn't do that either. That was another bad decision. And, I know they said it's in Marco Schallibaum's hands, and I know that they said that they have a clause in the contract that if they made the playoffs, he'd be back. I don't see how this coach can come back. He didn't have the answers in any of the games in the last 6 weeks of the season. I don't see how he's going to have the answers next year.
Let's get back to Rivas. You said it was a bad decision, but can you see or can you explain why they did that move?
Experience and physicality. They thought it was going to be a physical game under difficult conditions, and they thought that, with his experience, he was not going to get rattled. Maybe all that is true, but at the end of the day, his physicality got him into car trouble, and the fact that he was rusty, it showed on the field. It was a defense that was destabilized.
Schallibaum would kick out 9 out of 10 or 10 out of 10?
I can't see him coming back at all. At all. For me, it's 100% he's gone.
Have a good weekend, people. I see you Monday. I'll be
sir.
back from Buffalo because I'm going to Buffalo for the Bills
Oh, really?
and the Sabres game.
Enjoy it. It's a great weekend. Been there before.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Thanks, my friend.
Happy tailgate.